Welcome back to the Level Up and Live podcast. I'm your host, Sean Meyers, and we're on a mission to empower 100 business owners in Montgomery County over the next 24 months to design a life they don't grow to regret without sacrificing health, relationships, or spirituality. We do this through the Level Up and Live Mastermind group with our 5 pillars: accountability, clarity, guidance, support, and community. Today, I am fired up to spotlight a young powerhouse, Austin Baker, owner of A to Z Construction Services, LLC. Austin is bringing sexy back to homes while building his marriage, his business, his leadership in Montgomery County. He's leaned in all the way into growth, and you're going to want to hear his story. Austin Baker, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, Sean, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Well, Austin, before we talk business, before we roll up our sleeves, because that's what a lot of our viewers and audience are, emerging leaders and business owners, we want to find out, who is Austin Baker at the core? What shaped you into the man you are today on this podcast?
Man, that's a good question. A lot of factors. I played football growing up. My dad was very involved in my life, whether it was coaching sports or taking me to work with him. He built custom homes when we were up in Washington. He did remodeling and stuff. So my brother and I grew up going to job sites, and just seeing him while we were growing up, always working hard, that instilled that same kind of work ethic in myself. Man, where else? Like, I sold Cutco knives in high school.
That's right.
You know,
yeah.
that helped too. I was starting out at H-E-B bagging groceries, and I was making like $8 an hour or whatever, and I hated it. And then I got this call from one of my friends. He's like, "Hey, man, I started this new job. Just come check it out." He didn't really tell me anything about it, because I think if he said, like, "Hey, man, we're selling knives," I would have been like, "Well, what do you mean by that?" But I started doing that. Got introduced to sales and being commission-based and making performance-based income. And I was like, okay, this is way better than getting paid hourly. And then ran an office with that company, got a good experience of entrepreneurship, opening up an office, coaching, hiring, training sales reps, and then leading them to accomplish some goals together. So all that led me into realizing that I do enjoy leading my own thing, being on my own mission. So dropped out of college at that point. Started working with my dad to get some experience, and he passed away in 21. So my brother and I had been working with him for a couple years at that point, and didn't feel super comfortable taking over his business fully. So we kind of just closed out the projects that we had there, and started our own business. And that's A to Z Construction Services.
What type of business did your dad have?
So it was a custom home building business. So he had some projects in Huntsville where they had bought the property, and they were just building homes there. And what we do now is just general contracting. I'd say specialty is probably going to be like drywall, painting, light remodeling, maybe concrete, fences, siding, all kinds of stuff.
Take us back to Cutco in selling knives. How long did you work there?
I was there 3 years, so 3 summers total.
That's incredible. So you're selling knives, and I've always heard really good things and really ugly things about door knocking, selling knives, but it's like selling ice to an Eskimo. It's different in a way of you're selling knives and you're selling high quality premium knives, but it sells at the end of the day. I'm curious what was your experience like for those first 3 years? Was it easy? Was it tough? Or was it challenging? And how did you overcome those obstacles?
I think the hardest part of it is just getting over talking to adults when you're like 17, 18. And so we didn't do any door knocking. When I started, they stopped doing door to door. So you would start with your personal network. So when you start after training, what you're doing is you're reaching out to your friends like, hey, can I get your mom's number so I can do an appointment? Like I get paid just to show them. And the knives are awesome. They do sell themselves. And most people cut in some kind of capacity,
Yes.
whether they cook all the time or they have like hunting knives and stuff. So some guys really like that. Or sometimes you just need a pocket knife to open stuff at the house. So there's something for everybody. And the knives, you can cut a rope with it. You can cut leather with it. So, and they're super smooth like butter. So people see that visually and they're like, oh, wow, these are awesome. You get the scissors and you could cut a penny with it. So, yeah.
Holy smokes.
We do that all the time. So that's the product sold itself. We didn't really have to do any selling. It was more just building a connection with the client that you're meeting with.
Yes.
And selling them on you and your goals. So that helped me get more comfortable talking with people. I think that was the best thing that I got from it.
That's beautiful, man. So in those 3 years, what I'm hearing you say is not only what you were selling, because like I said, sales is sales, whether it's knives or insurance or construction services, general contract. But what I'm hearing you say is you built the connection, the relationships.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Is that correct? Yeah.
100%.
So I appreciate you sharing that. And that kind of transitions into A to Z construction services. So take us back to day one. What pushed you to really step out on your own going, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do what's required.
So day one, my brother and I actually had taken a little bit of a break since our dad passed and we shut down his business. He was doing like odd jobs, handyman type stuff. And I went back into sales. I got a job.
Really?
I was selling insurance. It was for about a year. And
how am I just now finding this out?
Man, I don't think it was for me. I did it for about a year. I was in the office a lot and I'm more of a face-to-face kind of guy. And it wasn't a good fit for me, I don't think. And I was talking, my brother and I were talking one day and we were like, well, you know, we know construction stuff to a point. We just need to get our business acumen up to par, right? So let's start small. Let's just figure it out. We'll do something that's easy to do and manage. We can do like pressure washing and handyman stuff to get started, and then just build on and add more services as we get down our systems and start to understand like that business side of things. So, you know, finances and scheduling and just building an actual business rather than just going and doing the work. And I was like, well, I'm done working for other people. It had only been a year, but I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. I don't like this. And he's like, yeah, let's start making some money. Let's get to it. And so that first year we started out, it was mostly like pressure washing, handyman stuff. We did some fences, and then we got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with the marketing. We've got, you know, lists and stuff for jobs, what we need to do. Conceptually, we get it. It's in our head. We can start adding more to it. We can manage that now. We got systems set up for our CRMs. We've got like sales funnels that I learned to use. We got the website set up. I understand a little bit about SEO and marketing. Like we're on Google. We got all the other stuff figured out. Now we can just focus on building the construction side of the business. And that's what we started year 2 and on. We've been working on just building up more and more.
Yeah. You're in the trenches. You're in the sleeves rolled up, figuring things out, what's working, what's not working. Mm-hmm. And you're roughly around 2 years, right, in business?
We're coming up on 3 years. End of this year, it'll be 3.
Fantastic, man. So in your first 1 to 2 years, what was the hardest lesson you've had to learn about being a business owner?
Man, the first The biggest lesson I actually most recently learned is if we don't have documented systems in place, the job's not going to get done the same way every time. Um, and we don't have a clear way to communicate standards with either contractors that we have working for us or my brother and I between each other, just to make sure that we have hit every step of the process. Stuff can get missed. You get busy. You got 3-4 jobs going on at the same time. You forget to call the painter to have him show up on time, and then you're going to have to paint yourself or something like that. There's other things that happen, and it's just like, man, if we document our systems better, we'll be able to be more organized and stay on top of things. And the organization is really important, and we're working on building that into our business.
Yeah, there's SOPs for everything. There's SOPs for waking up, how I make my coffee, how I go to the gym, how I drive my car, how I open up my office, how I schedule my weekly calendar. I mean, there's SOPs, there's standard operating procedures for everything. And what I have learned in the last 10 years of being in business is that we fall to the level of our systems and processes. Managing our employees, leading our team, leading our company. All this is systematized because we only have so much bandwidth. We only have so much energy. And what I have learned being a student of the game is that we have to be able to conserve that energy and focus on what it is that we need to be focused on, which is typically one or two different things on a daily or weekly basis to really drive that needle. Would you mind sharing an example of the SOP or standard operating procedure that you're currently working on? Like, what was that moment where you're like, oh, I need an SOP for that? Where did you learn? Where did you hear about that, learn about that? And then how have you implemented that moving forward?
The one that I most recently got, I guess, the bare bones structure for it. It's a living document, so we're always going to be adding stuff to it.
That's right. Yep.
It's a concrete work checklist. So we did a project, and the client had a fence line, and then the house, they were not square off each other. There was a little bit of a variance with how the lines went.
Yeah.
And he wanted the slab to be 6 feet off of the fence, but squared off the house. So we're just talking about this. We've got my subcontractor with me, and we're all talking about this. We want it 6 feet away from the fence, square off the house. Got it, cool. Now, the homeowner goes inside, and my subcontractor is like, okay, we got to make sure that it gets 6 feet off the fence. So they measure it, they're marking everything off, 6 feet off the fence. And I'm like, okay, yeah, 6 feet off the fence. And I left and I had another job. And I didn't reiterate, make sure the whole thing is square off the house, though. And so I left. I came back later in the day, and the concrete's already been poured. They framed everything up, the rebar's going in. And it's not a huge difference in this yard, but if you really get on the side and look down, you can see that it gets a little bit closer to the house as it goes down instead of being completely parallel with it. And that was the client wasn't too upset about it. Like, we didn't have to redo the concrete or anything, but it was like, man, it wasn't like knockout rock star job like it should be. So an SOP for that is a pre-job walkthrough checklist where we have the preferences of the clients listed out. So we've got the size, we've got the thickness of the concrete, we've got what we're pulling the square off of, and even have to have a drawing or some kind of visual mapped out that we can have the client look at, contractor can look at, subcontractor can look at, we can look at, and all agree hey, we've done all these things, go down, check, and then we're ready to pour after we make sure that we've got all those details.
That's systematized. And what I'm hearing you say is when you do that, it takes all the emotional energy, the thinking, the going back and forth and questioning. And that's the beautiful thing about the SOP is like, okay, moving forward, it'll evolve, it'll tweak, but you'll be able to, because when you do another project like that, then you'll be able to take that SOP out, hand that to your subs, so everybody's on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also seek that to tweak and evolve the SOP. What I've learned as well is seek getting the feedback from the people that may have never even done a job like that, because that's ultimately because you want it to make it so simple. You want it to be fifth grade understanding, where this is the checklist, this is the visual, this is the video. So it's just duplicatable, it's repeatable. And I think that's the biggest challenge a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs face, is just slowing down, because that takes time to do that. But once you do that, you hedge and you mitigate the mistakes, error, failures, which that's going to cost way more money down the road if you was to slow down and follow that SOP for that specific job.
Absolutely. Yeah. You want it to be so simple that a high school kid can do it.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. No, you're right, man. And for all of our listeners and audience listening to this, a lot of business owners, it's slowing down to go fast, creating those SOPs. And it's not just in business, but it's also in our personal lives as well. I think, and I reflect back and I go, how am I so disciplined in doing all these, like working out and eating and the things that I create, this rhythm, these habits? It's because I've done the same thing over and over and over. Success leaves clues, and it's boring. It just is. But you create that rhythm and you create that SOP, and then you just do that over and over, and becomes duplicatable, becomes repeatable. And then other people are like, whoa, there's a disconnect, right? Whether it's employees, customers, family, or friends. They're like, how do you go to the gym at 5 a.m. every morning? And it makes me stop in my track and go, SOP. I lay my clothes out the night before. I go to bed. I have my Whoop go off at 4 a.m. every single morning. Not Saturdays, the day I don't, it's Saturday, I get to sleep in. No. It's a SOP. I wake up at 4 a.m. every single morning. My body is trained to do that. I see my clothes. It's a trigger. It's a habit. Oh, that's an SOP. That's a process. I'm going to go throw my shoes on. Oh, I see my toothbrush. I see my coffee. Oh, that's an SOP. That's a process. I'm going to go drink my coffee. So all this is a rhythm and is a habit that I embed that creates discipline, because I'm a lazy human being. You're a lazy human being. We're lazy people.
Right.
And that's essentially what we're talking about. Because when you're doing jobs like what you're doing, and you make these little errors that make all the difference in the world, and then you reflect back and go, holy smokes, that's because we fall to the level of our systems and processes. And what I'm hearing you say is when you tweak that, evolve that, and make sure that we're all on the same page, man, you just improve those, you level those up, and reflect on those on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Having SOPs, it takes the thinking out of it. There's no improvisation. You know how it's supposed to be done. You do it the same way every single time.
Yeah.
And having it documented, it makes it easy to measure whether or not you did what you were supposed to do. Because it's like, okay, well, did I do this? Yes. Did I do this? Yes. Did I do this? No. Oh, okay. Then I didn't do it right. It's easy. There's no emotions in it. It's not like, oh man, I suck because I did this wrong. It's just like, no, you just didn't follow the SOP.
Yeah. So. That's good, man. That's really good. Just to add to that, it really makes me think, because if there's an SOP for a process or a system for everything, which there should be, traveling and hanging out with, spending time with our family and our wives, and all this can be systematized and it can be replicatable, but also for your life. Our listeners and audience and viewers listening to this, for the jobs that you do and for what you do in your life. And so it's not one size fits all. So hearing these SOPs, it's like, oh, I need to wake up at 5. No. You've got to create the SOP for your life in business and in professional. Is what I have found that works best. Oh, yeah. I wanted to transition, man. a lot of our listeners and audience, we all have doubt. We all have these limiting beliefs. We all have these stories that we tell ourselves, fear, I'm not good enough, imposter syndrome, especially the first year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in business. And the reason I'm able to say that, because I've been that guy, imposter syndrome, fake it till you make it. You hear this all in the business world. But how do you handle the days where that doubt creeps in when it would have been easier to just quit, throw in the towel, you know what, I'm done? How do you handle those days when those feelings or emotions creep in?
Man, when situations like that happen, you got to look at the bigger picture. Look at your why. Like, why are you really doing this?
Yeah.
Because it's not just to make money. If we were doing this to make money, there's a lot of other things you could do than start a business. You could go sell software and make $250,000 a year and work from home and have a relatively easy life. But for me personally, I'm working on building something that can take care of my family for years to come in the future. It's part of, for me, taking on the legacy that my dad left for my brother and carrying it on. There's more of an emotional connection to the work I do. And that can hurt me at sometimes because I want to so much please the clients that I'll do too much.
Yeah.
And
you're a recovering people pleaser.
Yes, I'm a recovering people pleaser. Absolutely. But when it gets tough, it's a matter of thinking about what is the next step that I can take to get out of this and keep moving forward so I can stay on track.
That's beautiful, man. I think you hit the nail right on the head. And we talk about that a lot on the Level Up and Live podcast, is your why. Like what you just said, tying that emotional compelling nature, because it's not if, but when you get punched in the mouth, and it's going to happen a lot in business. I mean, you're 3 years in. Think about the next 3 years, the next 3 years, the next 3 years, 10, 15. I mean, I'm thinking 30,000 feet. I'm thinking 10, 15, 20 years from now. And the beautiful thing about it is it's who you're becoming in this journey, and that why will evolve. And that's why I'm such a big believer on vision and your mission and your values. Because when you are in alignment on a daily basis in the decisions that you make in your business and in your life, you're an unstoppable force, because we are all a child of God. I don't know our listeners' religion, but I believe that our Creator, we're made for so much more. And it's our job and it's our duty to be obedient in that by aligning with who we're trying to become, that 10.0 version of ourselves, and tying that to that emotional compelling nature. So I couldn't agree with you more. And I love that you shared that, man. You hit the nail right on the head.
Thanks, man.
What is one win, big or small, that made you realize, Austin Baker, that this is working? I'm really building something here at A to Z Construction in the last 3 years.
Man, this whole year we've been working, I'd say probably 90% on referrals. We haven't done too much marketing, and we've stayed consistently busy the entire year. So I'm like, wow, we're actually we're doing this thing. People are liking what we're doing. They believe in us. They know that they can trust us to go take care of their friends and family if they need work done. And that's been really encouraging to see.
That's a huge win. And you said this earlier, Austin. I wanted to acknowledge you for that. You said sometimes you're obviously, I'm paraphrasing that, recovery people pleaser, but you're a people pleaser. I think just knowing a little bit about you in the last couple months, what I've learned about you is that you put the customer first. And if something's wrong or something's incorrect and they're not happy with it, you do everything in your power to correct course, to make it right for them. They feel that. They receive that. And that's what I'm hearing you say is your number one lead source is customer referrals, because people do business with who they know, like, and trust. And when you take care of the customer, the Lord, I believe, the universe rewards individuals like you in reciprocation. And I have learned that as well here in the last 3 to 4 years, making it about the customer, making it about the member, making it about the employee, the contractor, the other person, and putting yourself in their shoes. And that's what I'm hearing you say. And I think that's why you're seeing that. That's a huge win, because we both know that is some of the best business is customer referrals, is it not?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you're already going into an interaction where they're expecting a good outcome. So they have positive expectations for you going in. Yeah. This one lady that we did work for referred her friend to us, and she told her, or she left a review actually for us, that we were like the best by far experience she's had working with a contractor ever. So if you have somebody like that telling her friend, hey, you got to hire this guy, it doesn't matter what we can do, as long as we're not like pricing our work crazy high, we're probably going to get the job, and we're going to do the same quality of work that we did for the friend that referred her, and we'll have another raving fan.
Yeah, I love that, man. Where do you think you get that from?
I think my faith has a lot to do with it. I hear stories of people like having just nightmares with contractors all the time. I want to make sure that I'm doing my part, not only just as a business owner, but as a Christian, just to shine like God's light in the world. And you're working in people's houses, man, you can really show them that the love and the care that you have for them and the work that you do, by going above and beyond and making sure that they're taken care of. And, sometimes I get to share a little bit about Christ when I'm there, and that maybe impacts them. And if they're not currently a believer, maybe seek him. Or if they are a believer, we can just build our connection even stronger, as being brothers and sisters in Christ. So I think that helps.
Absolutely, man. I agree with you. And you embody that. And I think when you speak that into existence and you believe that, and the Holy Spirit working through you, I receive that, and it inspires me. And I get my hair stands up on my body, because that to me is not only an inspiration, but an aspiration, where I want to be more like Christ. I want to be more like Jesus. And who I keep asking myself, and that's what I'm hearing you say in paraphrase, who do I need to become? Because we're not perfect. We're imperfect human beings. We're flaws. We make struggles. We make mistakes. And I think I agree with you on that faith. And that's one of our core values at Level Up Live is faith-fueled grit. Because you can have faith, but if you're not obedient, if you don't take action, then you're a cog in the wheel. You're in the rat race, and you're doing the same thing over and expecting different results. So it's I need to get comfortable getting uncomfortable, and that's that grit. You got to have that grit and that faith to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I love that you take that into the homes. And speaking of homes, I love how your tagline and your title is, you say A to Z is bringing sexy back to homes. I just absolutely love that. For our listeners and audience, what does that mean to you and your customers?
Yeah. Well, the reason I say bringing sexy back is because I think everybody should live in a home that they enjoy living in. And I mean, if you think your home's sexy, you're going to want to be in there. But also for us, when we're doing work, that's the kind of quality that you want to go for. If you say for like a drywall patch, for instance, you got to match texture when you're doing this. So you could just put the sheetrock in, float it a couple times, and then get a little spray can and spray like orange peel on the wall and be like, oh yeah, that kind of looks good. Or you could get really detailed in it and make sure that you're matching the pattern and the texture as close as you can. So when you step away from it, you can't tell that there was ever a hole there, and you're like, dang, that is sexy. if you could step back and say, dang, that's sexy, okay, job well done, let's move on.
Oh, I love that, man. Was there a moment in the business where you started saying that, or that moment happened where you're like, dang, we're bringing sexy back to the homes?
It started early on. It was when we were doing that pressure washing at the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
You get the before and afters when you're like cleaning concrete or soft washing a house are so crazy, and you don't notice it because you're living there every day. So you take somebody's like super like black grimy driveway and then you clean it and it looks almost like brand new concrete.
Yeah.
You're bringing sexy back to their house. Perfect deal.
I absolutely love that. Do you have shirts made that say that?
We don't have shirts that say that, no, but
we need to get you some shirts. But we need to get you some shirts.
Yeah.
I would wear one. I'd wear one.
Hey, maybe that's the next thing. Start making sexy back shirts.
Let's do it. We know some people.
That's right.
I wanted to bring your wife into this because I know a lot of our business owners and a lot of listeners are married. And business ownership and marriage, in my opinion, they should be in alignment. You know, I don't believe in balance, but that's for another episode for another day. I believe in alignment in marriage. And I'm curious with you, Austin, you're married while building this business and 3 years in. How do you and your wife navigate the pressures of business ownership together?
It's for us, everything comes down to communication. And that's been for our relationship since the beginning. We got to talk about stuff. I can't read her mind. She can't read my mind. If there's something going on, we got to talk about it. And especially working together. She does the books and all like the financial side of the business for us. The stuff that I could do, but I really do not like to do. And for whatever reason, she just loves that kind of stuff. So it works out for me.
That's right.
But just, man, that helps us because our communication is so strong. Yeah. Whether it's planning or if we're going through one of the little lows in the business, as everybody knows that we can just talk through it and be able to get on the same page and know where we're at. And when times are good, they're good.
Yeah.
And then when they're not so good in the business, it's okay because our marriage is still good at the end of the day. We go to church together, we pray together. We have a very strong relationship. And I think that regardless of if the business, it could fail tomorrow and we could be going homeless, or we're still going to have a good relationship. So that brings a sense of security that is not always there in the business. And I think that helps me just push harder because I was like, well, no matter what happens, I'm going to have my wife at the end of the day. So let's just get going.
I love that, man. I resonate so much with that. One of the things that I heard when you were speaking there was communication. I've been married for 7 years, together with Kendra for 13. That was one of the things I did not understand in the first 5 years of my marriage, was how important communication was in our marriage and in business. Because remember, it's an alignment. Because however you're leading in your personal life with your marriage and your kids, is typically probably how you're leading in business. And that's why I believe in alignment. And if I'm communicating, over communicating, whether it's text, email, phone calls, making sure we're on the same page. How are you feeling? How am I showing up for you? Is your love tank? All this is what I'm hearing you say is communication is key. And then typically when there's friction, when there's frustration, when there is issues or strife or problems, what I have found in marriage from my own personal experience is because I lacked the communication in how I was showing up. I would isolate myself. And it's been one of the biggest things that I've worked on in probably the last 3 years is communicating to my wife, being vulnerable, putting the ego and pride to the side, sharing how I'm feeling, because we're two strong personalities. And a lot of times when you have two leaders in the household, two strong personalities, the last thing you're going to get from us is, yeah, I got a sore throat today. I've got a cough today. I don't feel good today. You don't hear us say that.
Right.
But we need to be able to say that to each other so we can support each other. And I love that you share that, man. Communication, I couldn't agree with you more. I can't stress that enough. And for our listeners and audience that lack communication, there's so many good books out there. I actually have read John Maxwell, Communication. I don't know the name of the book. It's probably behind me in my library. Have you read that book?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. Maybe I have.
It's really good. I'll have to recommend it in our group me, but man, you just made me realize like how important communication is. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've plugged into the Level Up and Live Mastermind group the last couple months. You've leaned in, you've showed up with a positive attitude, you've had a smile on your face. I'm curious, Austin, what's been the biggest breakthrough for you from being surrounded by other like-minded business owners?
The biggest breakthrough that I've had, especially being in the group, is just seeing that, one, not everybody has all their stuff together. There's always going to be something that you're working on improving. Like there's never a point where you're just like, okay, I got this whole business thing figured out. I'm posting, like whatever. There's always something that you can be doing better. So that it lets me feel maybe not beat myself up as much for making mistakes or having to work on different aspects of the business, because it was like, well, I'm always going to be working on stuff. I'm never going to be perfect. No. And everybody in the group is really there for like supporting each other. It's not a group that you're going to go into and been like, man, how are these people going to benefit me today? What am I going to get from these people? Everybody goes in like, hey, what can I give? What insight can I give to this person to help them? And I think we all go in with that mentality, and then all end up getting stuff out of it because we're all looking to give to each other. And it's just really good to be a part of a community that actually cares about your development, whether it's in business or personal.
Love that, man. And for our listeners and audience and viewers, I did not pay Austin to say that, FYI. You nailed it, man. You took the words right out of my mouth, man. Well, we're wrapping things up, but I want to get these questions in for the young hustler out there, for the young Austin Baker 5 years ago. He's listening to this podcast right now on the treadmill, in the vehicle, mowing his yard, someone just starting out. Why is it dangerous to try to do this journey alone in business ownership?
Man, because it can be lonely. People say that owning a business or being an entrepreneur is lonely, and that to a certain extent is true. But if you're able to connect with people that are in the same boat as you, maybe not at the same level, have people that are a little further on, maybe somebody that's on the same level, you will be able to actually relate to them a lot more than just talking to people that are, working a 9-to-5 job. Like having friends is cool. It doesn't really matter if you have a friend that works a 9-to-5 or you have a friend that's a business owner, but the friend that's working a job isn't going to understand your struggles or what you're going through as much as the person that owns a business and has been through the fire and is walking that walk.
Man, that's really good, brother. And I think that's super relatable too. And listening to that, because you're right. Sometimes there's a disconnect. Somebody listening to this, young hustler, well, I'm 6 months in. I'm just trying to pay the bills, pay my insurance, pay my overhead, pay for my gas. And then you've got a business owner that's been in business for 10, 15, 20 years. He's focused on leading a group. So I think there's a disconnect. And you said it beautifully. And there's obviously conviction and authenticity behind that. So it's just that. It's finding that business owner that is down the road, that is one to two levels where you want to go down. It could be any area of life. It could be health and fitness. It can be spirituality. It could be business. It could be finances, art. I mean, it could be anything. But I think that's what really drives us at Level Up and Live in the community is having all these different walks and seasons of life in these business owners. But that's the fastest way that I have found, and I couldn't agree with you more. At the end of the day, what do you want people to say about Austin Baker and A to Z Construction Services, LLC, in your local hometown?
At the end of the day, I want people about me to say that I am the type of person who does what he says he's going to do, and is going to take care of the people that trust in him, and that I care about helping the community, not just donating to something and saying like, oh, hey, we donate to charity so I can put that on my website. But actually, like, I would love to see the whole Montgomery County area, the Woodlands, all get better. And I would hope that people see that I actually put the action behind that and don't just say that kind of thing. And then for the business, I mean, it's a reflection of my life. So I would hope that they'd say the same thing, man. We care about clients. We're going to get the job done right. If there's anything you're not happy with, we'll do what we can to make you happy. And if there's no way to make you happy, we'll still do our best.
That's all. Hey, that's all we ask at Level Up and Live is just do our best. And for those listening to this, can we all hold you accountable to that, Austin?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, you're embodying that, man. I know this has been a short period of time of us getting to build a relationship together, and that's why I love doing these podcasts and these episodes. Is not only provides value to you, our listeners, our audience, and learning from individuals that are actually doing the work, taking action, but it also allows me to get to know you a little bit too. And we've done just that today. So you're embodying everything that you're saying, and you're incongruent, you're in alignment. And I'm super excited to be on this journey with you, brother. I feel like we're just getting warmed up.
Yes, sir. I know. I'm excited for it.
No doubt, brother. Well, there you have it, folks. Austin Baker is proof that you don't have to wait decades to lead with grit, growth, and ownership. His story today shows what happens when you surround yourself with the right people, lean into mentorship, and keep doing what's right for your family, your customers, and your community. Austin, thanks for sharing your journey.
Hey, thanks for having me, Sean. I appreciate it.
You bet, brother. Last but not least, how can our community at Level Up and Live support you?
Oh, man, if you guys would go to my Facebook page, you'll be able to find my business on there. Go and share that with all your friends so we can grow that page more. And that would help me out substantially.
Fantastic. Getting the word out there. And we'll have that link in the show notes as well. Make sure you tag Austin on there. What was one key takeaway that you took away from the show? I know Austin would appreciate that as well. And let him know that you listened to the episode. Make sure you share it with your family and friends. Outside of that, if you're a business owner or emerging leader listening right now, don't just go at this thing alone like we've talked about today in isolation. Come test drive the Level Up and Live Mastermind Group with a 1-month free trial. The link's in the show notes. Get plugged in, get clear, and get supported. See you in the next episode. Thanks again, Austin.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
All right. Hang tight, Austin.